Okay, get this. Imagine a company on the stock market decides to completely reinvent itself, pivots to focus on just one cryptocurrency, and then its stock just goes to the moon. Sounds kind of like fiction, right? Well, it's not. It really happened. And today, we're diving into the incredible story of institutional money flooding into Solana. And when I say goes to the moon, I'm not exaggerating. We are talking about a 500% jump. Yeah, a number so big it just makes you stop and ask, how on earth is that even possible?
So, that's the million-dollar question we're going to unpack today. How did one single company manage to quintuple its stock price just by going all in on Solana? And more importantly, what does this tell us about where crypto is headed in the corporate world?
To get to the bottom of it, we've got to start with the company at the heart of this whole thing. And trust me, it's a wild transformation story. They went from the world of professional sports all the way to the blockchain.
Say hello to Solmate. Now, up until very recently, you might have known this company as Brera Holdings, a firm that was all about owning multiple sports clubs. But then they pulled off one of the most radical pivots I've ever seen, completely changing into a treasury firm that deals exclusively with the Solana ecosystem.
And that pivot, it immediately caught some very big eyes. We're talking $300 million in new funding, just like that. This was the rocket fuel that lit the fuse and sent their stock absolutely soaring.
So, who's cutting these massive checks? This isn't just random money. We're talking about the heavy hitters. You've got Ark Invest, you've got the Solana Foundation itself, which is a huge vote of confidence, plus firms like RockawayX and the Pulsar Group. You know, when names like these get on board, the rest of the market really starts to pay attention.
And the company's new CEO, Marco Santori, who used to be an exec at Kraken, he laid out the mission perfectly. He said the goal is to build infrastructure, not just accumulate digital assets. So this tells you everything. They're not just trying to buy and hold tokens. They want to become a fundamental part of the Solana ecosystem.
But here's the thing, this story is so much bigger than just one company's stock price. The whole Solmate drama is really just a symptom of a much larger trend. Because right now, the big institutional players are stepping onto the stage in a huge way.
And this is the key takeaway. Solmate isn't some weird one-off event. No way. It's like a giant flashing neon sign pointing to a massive trend of corporate Solana accumulation. We are literally watching big money make a coordinated move into this one specific blockchain.
And we've got the receipts to prove it. Just look at this data. It's pretty mind-blowing. You've got Forward Industries sitting on $1.7 billion worth of SOL. Or check out Galaxy Digital. They grabbed over $1.5 billion worth in just 5 days of trading. All told, just 16 companies are now holding almost 16 million SOL. So to put that into perspective for you, these big corporate players now control almost 3% of the entire circulating supply of Solana. Now that might not sound like a huge slice of the pie, but believe me, for a decentralized network, that is a very significant chunk to be held in so few corporate hands.
And what's the hook? What's driving them to buy so much? Well, here's the kicker. These institutions aren't just letting their tokens collect dust. A huge chunk of it is staked, which means they're earning an average of 7.7% a year on their holdings. It's an investment that literally pays them just for owning it. Pretty sweet deal, right?
But that brings up a really important question. Is this all just a big financial game, just betting on the price? Or is there some real tangible use case behind this institutional gold rush? It's time to look beyond just the numbers on a balance sheet.
So is this whole thing just speculation? Is it just a gamble? Well, one of the biggest payment giants on the planet is giving a very loud no and is actually putting its own reputation and infrastructure on the line to prove it. And here it is. This is the bombshell. Visa, that Visa, has announced plans to actually use the Solana network for settling credit card payments. This is not a drill. It's not some tiny pilot program. This is a plan to weave Solana into the very fabric of global finance. So why'd they pick Solana? Well, Visa pointed to two main reasons. It's super scalable, meaning it can handle a crazy amount of transactions, and it's incredibly cost-effective. We're talking fractions of a penny per transaction. This is about as big of a real-world stamp of approval as you can get for a blockchain's tech.
All right, let's pull all this together. We've got a stock that went up 500%, billions of dollars from institutions pouring in, and a massive vote of confidence from Visa. So where does this leave us? What's next for Solana now that this momentum is really building?
Well, it's probably no surprise that all this incredible news is showing up in the price of the SOL token itself.
It's been on a tear recently, with a 6% gain in one day and an awesome 39% jump over the last month alone. And you can really see that momentum when you look at how the current price is creeping closer and closer to its old all-time high. The market is clearly loving this story of institutional cash and real-world adoption.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's the power of this combination. You've got this new wave of institutional trust, and it's being backed up by real-world use from giants like Visa. That 1-2 punch is what's fueling this incredible market performance.
Which leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. We've seen the money flow in, we've seen the tech get the nod from a giant, but can this growing wave of institutional interest actually make Solana an essential, indispensable part of mainstream finance? That's the billion-dollar question that everyone's watching now.